Yes, here we are. We are getting ready to just spew a bunch of information out at you. Ain't that right?
Yeah, I'm always down to podcast and talk about how we can grow and make our businesses and help other people's lives every single day.
One thing that's kind of been going through my mind recently is like, a lot of people underestimate how much effort and like manpower you have to put into a vision that you have in your head to make that thing come to reality. Like, manifestation is this like magical term, and like it's viewed as such a lighthearted thing, but like real manifestation is like, it's a lot of input and output and just physical energy. And I'm not even very far in my business, and I've had to put so many hours into it, and just to get a small little bit piece of the pie, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so much effort into this just to make some progress, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it kind of almost baffles me to look at people like Alex Hormozi that are like making $100 million in one day. And it's like, dude, like the amount of work that guy has put in to get to where he is, it's insane. And it's hard to fathom. It's hard to fathom, like, getting to that point for a regular dude.
Well, I want to break it down. Like, what is your definition of manifestation? Because I feel like everyone talks about it, and some, it's a real thing and it's true. But some people think, oh, it's fate, doesn't work. So what's your definition of manifestation?
My definition is using your thoughts to create a feeling, which creates action, which produces a result into your life. So a lot of people manifest negativity because they're constantly in a state of lack and scarcity and fear. They're always thinking about the what ifs. And because of that, generally speaking, their life makes no progress, and they're not really good because they're staying in their box of comfortability. But for the people that truly manifest, they see something in their head, it gives them a feeling, and they chase that feeling. And the byproduct of chasing that feeling is they create a product or a business or a specific amount of money from that vision that came from their head and is now into reality. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, it's literally a thought that creates a feeling, which creates the motivation to take action, and that action produces a circumstance into your life, and that's manifesting. Whether that be like, oh, you hooked up with this girl last night, and then now you're pregnant, and now she's pregnant, and now you got a kid on the way. You just manifested a baby, homeboy.
Bro, I know someone that just happened to.
Like, that's the best definition of manifestation, right?
Yeah.
Like, you get horny, and then you're like, I gotta do something about this, and then next thing you know, you produce a child.
Right. But you ever start thinking about something, and then all of a sudden, like an hour later, a few days later, that it comes true, and you're like, how did that even happen? I'm trying to think of a good example. I don't know, I guess a good example is like, you go for, let's say, a few weeks without talking to anyone. You're like, man, you realize, like, I'm kind of lonely, I want to put myself out there. And then you go out with some friends and you meet a girl the next day. Now, I think the part that really, like, the manifestation part of having the thought and turns into a feeling, I think a lot of people have that down. The action part is where everyone gets lost. It's that we all talk about, if you don't take action, it doesn't matter. So when we see on social media, people say, oh, manifesting this. I think, and people kind of laugh at it. Some people think it's true, and partially it is true, but what are the action steps you're going to take to achieve that? And that's the step. And in that example, it's like, well, for the past 3 weeks, you probably weren't going out. You probably weren't focused on that. But the minute you thought about it, you can't do things if you don't think about it. The minute you thought about it, you took some sort of action step to go out with friends, to do something. You put yourself in a different environment, in a different situation that allowed you to meet that person that they were probably always there, or someone was probably always there, ready to meet you. But if you don't take that action step to do it, and it goes with anything. It doesn't have to be with a girl. It can be for your business. It can be for anything you want to manifest. If you want to manifest $100 million, and the person that you need to meet, who's worth $1 billion, is sitting at the next table, if you don't decide to go out that day and meet that person, you'll never do it.
Exactly. Which is why, too, everybody's capable of manifestation, but that's why very few people do, and that's why I think it has this magical essence to the name, like manifestation, because it quite literally simply is action, right? Like, it's action. Everybody has thoughts, but only certain people act upon those thoughts intentionally to create a desired result. But what blocks a lot of people from manifesting, and this is why I think a lot of people just sit around and post about manifesting instead of actually trying to do it, is because of fears and limiting beliefs and lack of self-worth, because they don't believe that they can do it, or they don't believe it's possible. So they'll wishfully think, I'm manifesting this, but they're not even taking the necessary actionable steps, like Zach said, to make that dream a reality. So it's like a hand-in-hand thing. You have to think the thoughts of manifestation and believe it's possible, and then you have to also pair that with the actions that are necessary to make that thing come to fruition. Because if you don't, it'll just be stuck in your head, and then you'll die with the pain of regret rather than the pain of growth, which sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks.
One thing I want to talk about that I think you're good at is, like, how do you do things when you don't have the motivation? You're not, like, you don't want to do something. Because, like, right now, like, there's things that, I say I need to go to the gym, and I just don't feel like I'm not motivated to go to the gym, or I'm not motivated to get up and work. How do some people constantly, every single day, do it when other people don't? Because I think we're all human. At some point, none of us want to do the things that we do, but some people are better at switching their focus and their mindset fast to get it done.
Yeah, that's a great question. For me, and the thing that I teach my clients is to use pain as their main driver. And a lot of people avoid pain, and they'll dumb their lives down and numb their lives out with food, alcohol, substances, anything that they can get their hand on, so they don't have to experience that discomfort of pain. But when you can take pain and you can also use it to transmute your life, kind of like I did. Anytime I wake up in the morning, I don't feel like going to the gym, I create a feeling in my mind of the worst possible time of my life. And that nasty feeling, because your brain doesn't know the difference between real and imaginary. Your imagination doesn't know the difference. So when you can recreate like a painful experience that's in your life, and then you feel that, and then you use that painful experience to then draw the motivation out of yourself, you'll never, experience a lack of motivation. You can have unlimited motivation. You never need a new source, because that same source to you, it drives you to never have to feel that pain again. And the way you're gonna do that is get your ass in the gym.
Yeah.
Like, for me, like,
what's your pain?
The pain that I have is like sitting in rehab just thinking I'm a fucking failure, dude. Like, thinking about how my family's judging me right now, like my ex-girlfriend just hates my guts, like thinking about all my job, who I had to call out because I told him I was going to freaking rehab. Like, that embarrassment and that pain, that trauma, I cling to that a lot, because when I get up in the morning and I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, this is gonna suck, but I know I gotta do it. I think about that type of pain, sitting in rehab where you have no phone, you have no like type of synthetic dopamine at your hands, and you have to viscerally think about things. That pain hits different, and the pain of going to the gym doesn't even compare to that type of pain. So I can use that pain to be like, okay, well, I could be in this situation, or I can negate that and never go back to that by doing this. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna go do this.
Yeah.
So I use my pain to kind of, get my ass in the gym. And that might be a dangerous thing for some people, because some people attach themselves to the pain. I don't attach myself to it. I just remember that it's there. It's my why. It's having a strong why.
Yeah.
Almost, essentially.
Yeah. What's interesting? There's a difference between physical and emotional pain. Physical pain hurts more in the moment, but as soon as it's gone, you kind of forget about it. But emotional pain is something that sticks longer term, and it comes back to you at times. Because right now, you could have had the most horrendous physical pain, and right now I can't even imagine how much that would hurt unless you're in it. But emotional pain, you can just think of in your head, play it back over and over again. And that happened to me. Like, I fell off a bridge and broke my neck, and it was the most brutal physical pain I've ever felt in my life. But right now I can't really imagine it again. But what drives me is the fact that I don't really say this on camera that much, but wanting to find a relationship, to start a family, and and a wife and have kids someday. And I just played back over and over again all the times I've been freaking rejected. And one of the worst times I was ever rejected, it wasn't even that bad, but to me it hurt a lot. It was because I really liked this girl. We used to work together, and we used to hang out, joke all the time. And one day I took the courage to tell her. We went to her car, I told her, and she smiled, and she's like, she appreciated it, but she just wasn't interested. And I was like, totally cool. I come into work the next day, she told every single person at work, and everyone looked at me, and it was like, they were all laughing at me, and it was the most emotional damage pain I've ever had in my life. And I was like, I have to go to work every day, and it like almost made me fucking cry. I almost quit my job, but that was like, I was making good money as a server and shit like that. So like, man, and the thing is, that's not the first time that's happened to me.
Yeah.
And it's made me not want to, I've never told this on, I don't tell this to anyone, but like, it's made me not want to try to,
100%.
and and people was like, bro, put yourself back out there. And like in my head, I play that over and over again. If I know a girl I'm interested and I see her friends, I was like, if this gets out and she tells everyone, it's gonna be a whole nother thing. So that's the emotional pain that I play in my brain. Now, to be successful for me, I want to be so successful that people, I don't have to ever worry about that ever again.
100%.
Ever again.
100%.
So.
And you're on that track, right? And I think it's funny though, because like, if I think about the bad times in my life, that's the times that I grew the most. I made the most changes, and that's put me into the place that I'm in now. So it's like, honestly, I need my heart broken again. Where's the next muscle mommy that's gonna come take my heart and rip it out and throw it on the ground so I can make more gains, make more progress in my business, and just level up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like anytime I've been in excruciating pain, like I've gotten the most work done. I've given two shits less what people think about me. I'm just grinding. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just grinding. So I'm taking applications. If you're trying to come over here and bust my heart out, you know what I'm saying?
I'll start up a landing page. If you want to find him love, if you want to find me love, we're here for you.
We're here to get love, you know what I'm saying? If we ain't got no love, then what's going on here? Like, what's going on? No, but seriously though, like if you can take your pain and you can use it for a purpose, then you will find yourself ahead of so many people in this world. Like I can't tell you how many people sit in that victim mindset and they just say, oh, poor me, this person doesn't like me, or I didn't get that job, or I don't have enough money. Well, you know what? If those are the things that you constantly focus on, that's what you're always going to experience. And if you can take those things and use them as motivation and break them down, and you say, okay, well, why don't I have the motivation to go to the gym? Why don't I have the money I want in my bank account? Why don't I get the girls or the guys that I want in my life? You can use those as catalysts of change, and you can figure out why and develop an actionable plan to manifest those things into your life. It is a very real thing. That's what I've done. That's what Zach did. Just a year ago, we were sitting there twiddling our thumbs wondering what the hell is this entrepreneurship thing. And now we have two successful businesses that have changed our lives and hundreds of other people's lives. That is the cool thing about pain.
We were sitting in the loft of his place. I remember going over there. We had our client come over, and we were brainstorming. We're trying to figure out how to create a VSL sales letter for this other online fitness coach. It was crazy. And he's doing copywriting. I was building out doing marketing, doing other things that I didn't want to do in addition to the software that I was helping him build. And it just wasn't a good fit. But like it was the start of our journey. And we ended up trying to do some work together, but life got in the way. We got focused on different things, but we stayed in touch. And
it's crazy though. Like in 1 year, how far we've come. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I made 10K last month.
That's what I'm saying.
Like crazy. Like I never thought.
And it wasn't even that hard, right?
One sale.
It wasn't even that hard.
Sale.
Just think, if you could do that 10 times, that's 100K.
Yeah. I have another call tomorrow for another 10K.
Let's go. See, that's what this is about. Like, the 10K day isn't even like what we were setting out to achieve. We just want to be the best versions of ourselves, and we also want to help people, and because of that, we created a product and we created a business, and now we get to facilitate that product across the world to people who need us. And that's what entrepreneurialism is. It's servicing. It's figuring out people's problems and figuring out a way that you can solve them more efficiently for a cheaper cost, and so that they have a good experience. And more importantly, they don't have to experience that shitty problem anymore. Get rid of it. That's what we do. I'm gonna get you in badass shape. He's gonna automate everything for you.
Yeah. And so, something that I read a book by Russell Brunson. It's called Traffic Secrets, and inside this book it talks about when you advertise, when you're trying to sell anything, there's 3 things you can fit on. Any advertisement you ever see in the world fits into 3 categories: health, wealth, or relationships. And whenever you're talking, you gotta ask yourself, am I promoting health, wealth, or relationships? And you can mix it, but there's always one that strengthens. And you can have the same message, but switch up which one you focus on. Like, I want to get in shape to find a girlfriend, so this is a relationship. I want to get in shape so that I'm more confident in my business, and that's wealth. Or I just want to work out to get in better shape, which is health. So you can frame it however you want. But whenever you're doing anything, you don't think health, wealth, or relationships, and that's all advertising is. It's one of those 3.
Boom. If you ain't sexy, smaxy with a 6-pack, and you ain't got a baddie on your hip, then you need to realign yourself, because everybody can do it, right?
Yeah.
That was fire.
Yeah.
I think that was good. Let's go. Boom. Episode 2 coming out soon.
I think we have some other stuff in there that